Greetings of Navratri to each and every one of you. And as you all are aware, Navratri is the festival of honoring the divine feminine energy within us. We celebrate Navratri through different rituals, through playing Garba, wearing different colored clothes. And I think this has become a very recent trend, especially in urban India, where we women are wearing the colors of Navratri. Well, these are more cultural aspects of the festival. However, let us now look at the spiritual aspects of the festival. As you all are aware, 9 days stand for nine goddesses, and each of the goddess is a form of the Devi Shakti, which is the divine feminine goddess principle, which is manifested in all forms. Throughout 9 days, many of us fast, many of us observe a strict vegetarian diet, and most of us are aware that the 9 days of Navaratri are very high on energies. I see a lot of times people fall sick during Navaratri because the energy is so high. The energies outside in the world are so high that if your body is vibrating at a lower frequency, you end up feeling tired, you end up sleeping more. And that's the reason people follow more sattvic diet, drink a lot of water, because it's also the time of transition from autumn to we are slowly moving towards the winter. It is a time where the October heat is ending and we are moving towards smaller days, longer nights, and the time where slowly and gradually things are changing. Now let us look at the spiritual significance of each of the goddess of Navaratri. We start on day one with Ma Shailaputri, and the last goddess who is worshipped on the ninth day is Ma Siddhidatri. Now, what do all these goddesses stand for, and what does it signify at a spiritual level? Now let us look at this. The first goddess, which is Ma Shailaputri, the daughter of the mountain, she stands for purification and becoming inspired. As we move from that stage where you have started your shuddhi of mind, body, spirit. How do you perform shuddhi of the body? By fasting, or by not eating, or by observing a vegetarian diet, a sattvic diet. And there is also what we call as shuddhi, or purification of mind. And in purification of mind, we are first aware and we first get inspired by what is going on inside us. So the first goddess, Shailputri, stands for inspiration. The next step after getting inspired is we start our journey of learning. Now, when we start our journey of learning, it's not an easy task, because when we are when we are learning something, it is a form of a tapascharya or a sadhana, and that is where the mother goddess Brahmacharini comes into picture, who is the goddess of tapasya. This was the time where Ma Parvati meditated and observed a very strict tapascharya. Tapascharya is where you are strictly not on food, you are strictly chanting, and it was a very divine process which lasted for thousands of years. Yes, it lasted for thousands of years. And this is the energy of Ma Brahmacharini, who is learning, who is performing the tapascharya. The next step after on the third day, we start moving more strictly towards our sadhana. Now, this strict sadhana, which is a day-to-day practice. In the first part, you are just learning. You are inspired. You are learning. The next thing you are doing is you have now started a strict routine, a strict sadhana, where you are continuously following the process of your daily practice. And this is what the mother goddess Chandraghanta Devi stands for, who is all about practicing the sadhana. Now, slowly, as we start practicing our sadhana, we have been inspired, we have started learning, and then we have started regularly performing sadhana, which then eventually becomes the tapasya. And this is where the fourth goddess, Mother Kushmanda, comes into existence. Now, as we start performing the tapasya or tapascharya, we start tapping into our inner wisdom, and which we also call as the inner divinity. And that is where you're moving to the next level, where you are moving to the level of Ma Skandamata. Skandamata is technically the meaning of Skandamata. She is the mother of Skanda or Kartikeya. So here you are moving from the phase of the maiden to the mother. As they say in the West, the maiden, mother, and crone are the three aspects of goddess, which is what exactly we see as the three Devi structure in our ancient Hindu scriptures. So here you are, the Skanda Mata, where you have tapped in your divinity and you are nurturing that divinity within you, so that you move to the next level, where you move to the purity of your true next nature, and where you're moving to the level where you have found your powers, you have found your divinity, and you are now experiencing that nature, and now you are able to use your powers. And as you're able to use your powers, you move to the next level, which is Katyayani. Ma Katyayani is the goddess who also took form as the Mahishasura Mardini, who slayed the demon Mahishasura, and which represents the fierceness, the power of the divine feminine. So now we are through with the first of the first 5 and 6 goddesses, and then we are moving to day 7. Day 7 is where the ego is destroyed. What is ego? Ego is the voice of fear. Ego is the voice of rational thinking, the voice which says that, oh, all these are myths, and I don't believe in all this. I only believe in what I see. The only, ego is not just the ahamkara, although ego is also ahamkara, but ego is way more than ahamkara, where ego says that I will only trust what I see, what I hear, and what is logically possible, and what is not logic is foolishness. That is what the voice of ego says. But the voice of wisdom says that there is so much beyond what our basic 21st century human brain can comprehend. And we as a country, we as a culture had so much wisdom within us. Unfortunately, due to the foreign invasions, a lot of it got destroyed. And a lot of proof, what our people believe, that the Hindu scriptures do not have any proof because the proof was destroyed. So a lot of this destructed proof is where um, a lot of wisdom lies in. And when ahamkara goes away, and plus the voice of rationality goes away, the ego goes away, the darkness fades away, and that is exactly what is the objective of Ma Kalaratri. Now, Ma Kalaratri helps us destroy the ego and helps us go ahead on the journey. Ma Kalaratri also is the dark night of the soul, which many of us encounter on the spiritual journey. When we are on the spiritual journey, first we are first inspired, then we want to learn, then we access our powers, and there comes a time where we have accessed our powers, we have gone at a significant level on the spiritual journey, and that is the space where you are all into the dark night of the soul, where things just don't make sense. A lot of things change, friendships go away, relationships don't work like the way they would, or also many people change cities, change towns. Many people lose their 3D, or what we call as the matrix jobs, where they are doing some things which they hate and they lose out their jobs, and so that they are moving towards a better life. But before you move towards the better life, there comes a time where you're doubting everything, and that's exactly what the dark night of the soul is, which we call as Kala Ratri. And the significance of Kala Ratri is given by, the significance of the dark night of the soul is given by the Kala Ratri. Now, after the Kala Ratri, the day 7 goes away, which means the dark night of the soul. You already endure the dark night of the soul, and you move to the next level. And that is where Mahagauri. Mahagauri means the goddess with fair skin, the fair skinned goddess. Uh, Mahagauri form is associated with divine light and with enlightenment. And this often is the enlightenment which you receive after you have faced the dark night, after you have gone through the not so good times, and you have now grown from that not so good times, is where you get the illumination in form of Mahagauri Devi. Mahagauri Devi is the goddess who is worshipped on Mahashtami, because Mahashtami is where um, this all culminates and a new dawn is now beginning. Finally, on Naumi, Mahanavami, which is today, Siddhidatri, goddess Siddhidatri or Ma Siddhidatri, who is the blueprint of divine perfection, is worshipped. Now, Siddhidatri Ma stands for the goddess who can grant you superpowers. Siddhis are nothing but superpowers. Again, Siddhis are at an energetic level, at a subtle level, which probably science does not have answer to. And that is the reason people feel that these are myth and magic. But the truth is, Siddhis are very much possible, and Siddhis are what people have after long periods of tapascharya. They have earned this long times of tapascharya. They have earned this siddhis, right? Now, what are the siddhis? So there are 8 typical Ashta siddhis which we talk about, which Ma Siddhidatri holds. The Ashta Siddhis or the 8 Siddhis are Anima. Anima is all about shrinking oneself to small size. If we see Lord Hanuman in Ramayana, he is the one who has the Siddhis. So he could shrink himself to the little size. He could grow as big as mountain. He could be very heavy. So these are what the Siddhis are about. So Anima is where you can become extremely small. Mahima is where you can grow. You can grow to infinite size. Garima is where you can increase one's weight to a level where no one can even lift you. Even no one can even lift your hand or your even a finger of yours, right? The next is Laghima. Now, Laghima, the opposite of Garima, where you become extremely light so that you can even float in air. The next is Prapti. Prapti is where you can manifest or acquire anything. The power of manifestation. This all happens when you have had a long time in practicing spiritual work, of course, under guidance of a guru or a teacher, because that you need guidance if you have to go there. Then there is something what we call as prakamya, that is ability to fulfill any wish or desire. This is very close to manifestation. Now, in prapti, you can reach at any place, at any time, and prakamya is where you can fulfill any wish or desire. Then there is Ishatva, which is you can control all elements and natural forces, where you can bring in rain, where you can bring in sunshine. And this is where you can actually master the nature and the elements. And the last one is Vashitva, where you can influence anyone. Um, you can make anyone do whatever you desire. Basically, the Ashtasiddhis are something which Ma Siddhidatri holds, and if there is this, if sadhana is done correctly, she can also confer on you the Mahasiddhis. Um, there are also Upasiddhis, which we in spiritual sciences often call as clairvoyance, clairaudience, where you can see beyond your eye, you can see the future. You can also see beyond what you see with your physical eyes. Also, clairaudience, which is you can hear beyond the ears. So, a lot of times, a lot of people who are energy practitioners have developed clairvoyance, claircognizance. In fact, in our in our 12 weeks energy course, we often teach about clairvoyance, clairaudience. So these are minor siddhis or upasiddhis. Now, Mother Goddess Siddhidatri is the one who is in charge of everything. And at the culmination of the spiritual journey is where you you are conferred on all the siddhis, or you get all the siddhis. Now, all of this process of 9 goddesses of Navratri is only everything. I think whatever whatever we celebrate, everything has its root in spiritual sciences, and scriptures have made it look so beautiful so that we can understand it. When we look at 9 forms of goddess, we understand what goddess is all about. But the base of everything is the spiritual journey. And if you are on a spiritual journey, and if you are facing the dark night of the soul, know that it will pass. Know that you will come to a place where you will shine with the light within, and you will also get your you will find yourself, and you will find, I feel the biggest siddhi would be to find yourself, because when you find yourself, life becomes series of possibilities and series of magic. So, well, this was our short video, not so short video on the all forms of goddesses. And I'm happy to receive any questions, and do let me know how you like this video. To know more about our work, log on to www.unicorninsight.com. This is Dr. Ashwini Chube. Thank you for watching this video. sending you best wishes for the Navratri season and wishes in advance for a very happy and a wonderful Dashera. Dhanyavad. Thank you.